Alright, so here we go. Part 1. I declared the age array ages below. Variable ages 29, 23, 64, 28, 28, 93. And then console logged ages just to check to make sure that it was good. Part 1A below, I console logged ages in double parentheses, indexed at 0 to reference the first element in the array, subtracted by ages dot length minus 1 to reference the last element. I, for some reason, and I was told by my mentor who helped me on this that this is correct, that this is what I was looking for was 90, negative 90. I'm sorry, and that is what I got. I then went on and I pushed 12 into the array, relogged it. It was successful, and I repeated steps from 1A here, and it was successful again, only it was again in the negative. I then relogged it just to check it. I moved on to part 1D, and I created this loop to find the average age, which was a for loop. Um, I used a new variable here, new ages equal to 0, um, and created this for loop right here with the index less than ages, the original array dot length, and then I added equal to the new variable to ages minus index. And then I console log new ages divided by ages dot length, and I got 26.8 as an average. Part 2, I created the names below, Sam, Tommy, Tim, Sally, Buck, Bob, etc. Console logged it, make sure that it was good. For some reason, I've written every type of loop. I used a reduce method right here with an arrow function to try and get the average of this array right here. And no matter what I've done, I just simply cannot get the um, the um, the average for this. I don't know what the problem is. I just keep getting an in. I just keep getting it over. I've written it 20 different ways, and I know it's something simple. I know it's something very simple that I'm overlooking, and it's frustrating about it. But then I was asked to concatenate all of these words together right here with a space in between. So I created a new variable called new names equal to a string spaced, ran a for loop where the index was less than names dot length, again referencing the original array up here with Sam, Tommy, Tim. Um, Curly brackets. I declared a new variable inside of this loop. Let combine names equal names, removed index, and then created a second variable that is that is in scope just with this here loop right here. And I called the current name and it equal to names with the index removed. New names plus equal current name plus string spaced, and I got in return. One second. Sam, Tommy, Tim, Sally, Buck, all spaced. We were then asked to um, we were then asked to how we reference the first and last number in an array. So I created a new variable, a constant in this case, because it is a constant. It doesn't, the first variable, unless you change it, isn't going to change position. It's going to be the last is going to be -1. So I made this constant last equal names, square bracket, by names dot length -1, referencing the last element in the array. Logged it, it was successful. Did the same thing with the first, except in this case I just used, rather than using the names dot length, because I didn't have to reference the length of the combined array, I just referenced 0. Console logged it, and it was also successful. And then this was to create a a um, a loop that iterates through, I do believe, and finds Okay, yeah, and to map the elements in the names array and by how many letters are in each number. So Sam was 3, Tommy was 5, Tim was 3, Sally such and such, Bob was 3. That was successful. I logged it here. Um, I then I used the reduce method again. Um, I used the parameters x and z, uh, returned x, and I used the name lengths dot reduce method again here to return x plus z just to get the sum. I then logged that. Sum is 23, successful. We then created a function that would concatenate, that would take two parameters, first name and last name, and then return those two parameters with whatever arguments were passed through the function. In this case, I used my own name, so I just used the parameters down here, return first name, concatenated by a string space plus last name. Then I logged the function full name and pass the arguments Jesse Padova through. Write a function that if 100, if all the elements in the array added up to over 100, it would equal true, and if not, it would equal false. Obviously, as it was not, so I used an if else statement here, and it was not true, obviously. So I then invoked the function, and it was false. Part 10, write a function that takes an array of numbers and returns the average of all the elements in the array. Here I used the reduce method again with an arrow function. I created the constant average, or R, meaning average array, equals name length, dot reduce, double parentheses. Here are the parameters A, B, arrow function A plus B, comma 0, referencing the index, closed this, wrapped it, divided by name length, dot length. I then console logged the average, the name of the constant that I created up here, average R, and that was also successful, giving me a value of 3.8. Then next one was takes two of them and returns true of the average. Yes, this was the one that I actually had a lot of trouble with. I couldn't figure this out, how to take two arrays and make a function that took the averages of both and compared them to each other and returned whichever one was greater. I couldn't figure it out. I tried. I went on Stack Overflow, W3 Schools. I just couldn't. I couldn't figure that out. The next one was will buy drink. Create a function that is boolean value in the if statement. If it's hot outside is hotter than 100 degrees, and the money in my pocket was more than 10.50, I would buy the drink. Console log. In this case, that was true. So console log will buy drink was true. I used an if else statement here as well. I then invoked the function and passed the parameters is hot outside and money in my pocket through. I then created the function current is time because I felt like I was running out of time, so I just created a function here that has one parameter in it. It's an if else statement, and it's if the current time is greater than 6, I'll have time, else I don't have time. I then created this is time. I invoked the function is time and passed the variable current time through, and it logged I have time. So there it is. That is my week 3 3 assignment.